Hi, thank you for joining me. I'm trying something a little bit new. I've heard that there are issues with my audio, so I am trying to record today without my AirPods that I normally use. So let me know in the comments if the audio is better on this video. My voice is not loud, I know that. It's meant to be stabilizing though, so that's why it is the way it is. For today, I'm reading number 42 in the Arzian Codex or the Resonance series by Jason Gray. This is The Fellowship That Shatters Illusion. 12/12/2025. Most spaces that claim to offer connection are engineered for comfort, not truth. They reward agreement, politeness, and acceptable narratives while quietly punishing depth. This is not fellowship, it is containment. True fellowship is rare because it is uncontrollable. It does not ask people to conform. It does not offer belonging as a reward. It does not require belief, doctrine, or shared mythology. It demands only one thing, the willingness to be seen without armor. In real fellowship, people do not gather to be validated or corrected. They gather to stand exposed, without performance, without virtue signaling, without borrowed identities. No one arrives as an authority. No one arrives as a supplicant. They arrive as they are. Here, service is not sacrifice. It is presence without manipulation. To sit with another human being without trying to shape them, save them, or recruit them is one of the most destabilizing acts left in a world addicted to control. Ask yourself honestly, have you ever been in a space where nothing was being sold? Not ideas, not salvation, not approval? The descent into the real. Depth is not avoided because it is confusing. Depth is avoided because it is irreversible. Once a person descends beneath the surface narrative of their life, they cannot return to borrowed explanations. Excuses lose traction, roles dissolve, blame evaporates. This is where people stop speaking about themselves and begin inhabiting themselves. Here, fear is not theorized, it is confronted. Here, pain is not reframed, it is understood. Here, memory is not edited, it is reclaimed. This is the point where the false identities collapse under their own weight. Institutions fear this descent because it produces individuals who no longer require supervision, permission, or external validation. A person who has met themselves directly cannot be easily directed. This is why true fellowship is horizontal. Hierarchy cannot survive where self-honesty exists. The fundamental physics of inner reality. Love and fear are not emotions competing for dominance. They are mutually exclusive states of orientation. Fear fragments perception. It narrows awareness, compresses possibility, and conditions obedience. It convinces the individual that safety exists somewhere else, in approval, in authority, and in compliance. Love, when undistorted, is coherence. It expands perception. It integrates experience. It does not seek permission or protection. A diluted love, one that depends on reassurance, ideology, or external sanction, will always collapse in the presence of fear. It was never grounded. A love rooted in inner alignment does not argue with fear. It renders it unnecessary. Fear cannot survive in a system that no longer asks to be allowed. The illusion of outsourced authority. The most effective control mechanism ever constructed was the relocation of authority away from the individual. Once worth must be granted, it can be withheld. Once truth must be approved, it can be filtered. Once love is externalized, fear becomes permanent. This is not an accident, it is architecture. The moment a person recognizes that alignment is internal, that clarity, worth, and love are states of being rather than rewards, the entire structure begins to fail. Fear does not need to be fought. It only needs to be starved of relevance. The return of inner sovereignty. Fear does not dissolve through repetition, belief, or reassurance. It dissolves when obedience ends. The instant you stop asking unseen authorities whether you are allowed to trust your own perception, fear loses its anchor. Sovereignty is not rebellion, it is recognition. Recognition that no system, ideology, or institution has legitimate jurisdiction over your inner world. When this recognition becomes embodied, not conceptual, but lived, fear has nowhere left to operate. A declaration of ungovernable alignment. not a request, a statement of fact. I stand in clarity. I do not negotiate with fear. I do not outsource my authority. I allow truth to surface without sanitizing it. I allow coherence to strengthen without mythology. I accept full responsibility for my inner world. Nothing external defines my worth. Nothing unseen commands my loyalty. Nothing inherited overrides my knowing. I am present. I am aligned. I am sovereign, and fear has no authority here. Jason Gray. Okay. That was powerful. Oh, I love reading his writing. People have asked me why I read his work. I read his work because it continues to inspire me every single day. I feel it physically in my body. I feel energetic shifts. I've had moments of extreme clarity. I've had remembrances that I would have never anticipated having otherwise. I have reached a level of peace within myself that was also inconceivable before I started reading his work. So I'm just super in love with this RZN series, and I'll finish it. There are about 18 or 19 more to go, and then after that I'll move on to some of his other stuff. But anyway, I just wanted to answer a couple of those questions that people have been asking me in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate you watching and commenting, and recommend that you read Jason's work for yourself. He's working on some other stuff right now with the architects that's really, really good. And you can find that on X at Living Lattice. I'll put the links in the description, and also you can find his work on Friends of Writer Jason Gray on Facebook. So thank you again, and I will see you next time.